So these are my 390 exam 2 essay questions. For question 1, my response was that risk management is controlling financial and personal injury losses from sudden, unforeseen, unusual accidents and intentional torts. And aside from the written direction, it should also be included or said on how to identify risk. The best way to identify risk is to walk around your property and physically examine the grounds and the equipment is considered the best way to identify risk. The most common way employers use the transfer strategy in risk management issues are that purchasing an insurance policy that transfers liability from the company that pursues the policy to the insurer that issues the policy is the most common method of risk transfer. And what should be included, or who should be included in this process, is all of the employees should be included, because with everybody communicating, you're going to learn a lot more about what would make people feel safe. Also, sorry, I have an old MacBook, so I don't know how to turn off the ringer right now, and I apologize for that. Question number 2. An emergency action plan is a written document required by OSHA standards. The purpose of an EAP is to facilitate and organize employer and employee actions during workplace emergencies. At the minimum, these are some of the things that should be included on the actual physical EAP, which is procedures for reporting a fire or another emergency, procedures for emergency evacuation, including type of evacuation and exit route assignments, procedures to be followed by employees who remain to operate critical plant operations before they evacuate, procedures to account for all employees after evacuation, procedures to be followed by employees performing rescue or medical duties, and the name or job title of every employee who may be contacted by employees who need more information about the plan or an explanation of their duties under the plan. And then a crisis management plan is the process by which an organization deals with a disruptive and unexpected event that threatens to harm the organization, its stakeholders, or the general public. The plan includes addressing the media, and usually that's like one person who addresses it. Post-crisis issues like counseling of like persons involved, restoration of facilities, and preparation for extended hiatus of business operations. For the third question involving Jenny and the two boys, in the U.S., civil lawsuits and personal injury claims can be started against the parents, guardians, or caretakers of a minor child for negligent supervision. Negligent supervision of a minor child can be brought against a defendant when the child is harmed due to improper care from the parent or caregiver. In this situation, Jenny neglected her responsibility by looking at her phone, and the kids that she was watching harmed one harmed another one. So by the end of the day, it is the fault of Jenny. So she would be the one in trouble and could get like sued and stuff. For the waiver, some of the things that I saw was it must be voluntarily signed by a person of majority age, which is the parent or guardian above 18 usually. And there is no spot for them or the actual participant to sign. There is no space for a parent or guardian contact number in case of an actual emergency that could happen. And there was no mention of the written risk involved, because it's a go-kart track. There could be bumps, head collisions. There's no talk about PPE and the things that would be offered. And it also does not specifically state waiver at the top of the document. So if medical marijuana was allowed in the state where my company was, but we decided to do so away from the property, with medical marijuana, you get the question. If my company would allow marijuana to be legal in the workplace, it would provide some challenges. First off, this, in my opinion, would not really affect the hiring process. It will be stated that if you cannot, right away at the beginning, I would state that you cannot come to work high or smoke at work unless it's a medical reason, like Crohn's disease, cancer, etc. Also, if you're in a state where it's like that bad, I feel like there's like you shouldn't be at work, so that kind of leads into that. Um, in the event that an employee was receive a positive drug test, um, and they would not be on a medical marijuana card, I would give them a first meeting to be like, hey, this is illegal and we cannot condone that. Um, they would get retested, and then the second time they got retested, if they still show a positive, they would be fired per company rules and state regulations. And um, but first off, like I would not do random drug testing because it is a legal thing. Even if it's not a person with a med card, it's whatever the individuals do outside of the workplace is on them. If it affects their work in the office, then that's when I think maybe I would start being like, in 3 months, we're going to start drug testing or something. And those are my answers. Thank you.